in this tutorial, we're going to expand on our arithmetic a little bit and our fictitious company. We're going to do that with something even more simple, a lemonade stand. So we're going to call this Sally's Lemonade Stand. And we're going to have the number of cups sold. And then we're going to calculate her income, her expenses, and then her profit. From here we want to calculate, or we want to get the cost, and the cost of 1 cup would be from the can of mix she uses. So she buys this mix, cost of 1 can of mix, and that would be $7.50. So we're going to make this dollar signs, and we're going to auto size the column, and we also want to center it. So we have the cost of a can of mix is $7.50. The number of servings in a can, we need to know that, and that would be 136. So this one we will just auto size and center. That's not $1, so we're going to keep this as a number. And then we have our cost per cup. And the cost per cup is the cost per can divided by the number of servings, which would equal B14 divided by C14. And we haven't really looked at how to do calculations, so let's do that right now. Some of you may remember in school, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or at least MDAS, my dear Aunt Sally, or multiply, divide, add, subtract, left to right. And also the division sign might look a little foreign to you in the multiplication, so it's multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Those are the signs that we'll use. And to give you an example of what we mean by the my dear Aunt Sally, multiply, divide, left to right, let's give an example. So we're going to say equals 2 plus 3 times 5 times 2. And most of us first look at that, think 3 plus 2 is 5, times 5 is 25, times 2 is 50. But because we're using the multiply and divide left to right, it will do 3 times 5, which is 15, times 2, which is 30, plus the 2 is 32. So we have to be careful of how that works. And now I also want to show with the please excuse parentheses and the exponents. So let's add on to this just a little. Equals 2 plus 3 times 5 times 2 to the power of 3. The power of, or the exponent. That's where the excuse, the E, comes from, exponent. And this would be the same thing as 2 plus 3 is 5 times 5 times 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So, oops, 8. And then we can say equals 5 times 5 is 25 times 8, or it equals 200. So when I come here and I say equals 2 plus 3 times 5 times 2 to the power of 3, we should see 200, and we do. So that's how the math works here. Now let's get back to Sally's project. We've calculated that it's about 6 cents a cup, and we need to get her selling price. And let's say that she sells it for 25 cents a cup. So now she sells 22 cups on her day, her first day there, and we need to calculate the income. So we say equals B7, which is number of cups, times her selling price, which is C16. And this is going to be in currency. Her expenses will be B7 times her expenses are cost per cup, which is 0.06, but we were going to use D14. Here's D14. I forgot the equal sign. When you don't put in the equals, it doesn't show up right. There we go. And now our profit is going to be calculated just like we did with the fictitious company. That's going to say equals B8 minus B9, or income minus expenses. So she cleared $4.29 selling 22 cups of lemonade that day. We are going to say that that happened on Monday. And we're kind of out of time for this video, so we're going to pick this up in the next video.